Johnny, you good? You want to hand me your thing?
Welcome back. How's it getting back into the flow of things and anticipation of tomorrow?
It feels good. I think it feels good to get back, to get moving, to feel make the body feel good. So I think it's a good thing to get back in the gym.
You guys are inching closer to health, it looks like.
What we're doing?
As a team,
getting closer to health.
I don't know, to be honest. I need to ask doctor or physiotherapist, trainers. Hopefully they're coming back.
Nikola, does the team's mentality change at 27 games to go? You're coming down the stretch. Do things change mentally for you?
If it's gonna change, I think this is the time to change for sure. Just so you can have a lot of time to start playing the way how you're gonna play and play important minutes. So I think this is the time. This is the time. If you want to change your mentality, this is the time to do it.
How was All-Star Weekend, knowing that some of your teammates and coaches got a little bit more of a vacation, and you obviously were honored to be there, but how'd it go?
Yeah, it's fine. It's part of the business, part of the job. I would rather be somewhere else, but it's a blessing and a curse.
Is it mentally tiring being there?
Mentally and physically.
Nikola, how have you been able to take your game even to another level than you have in prior years this year?
Probably experience, probably playing more, probably getting better, a little bit of staying in shape. But it's a little bit of everything.
What are your plans to celebrate 30?
Nothing. I don't like my birthday.
Why not?
Getting older.
And better.
Like wine.
When we ask you those questions about what makes you better, what makes a player great, how much of it in your mind is just work? Not these magical qualities, but just work?
You gotta be talented. I think the one from upstairs gave me the talent, and work is something that you can just master your craft. And of course, your teammates who are probably, if not the most important part of that puzzle. You need to have a good teammates that are gonna help you improve and help you challenge you, getting you better. I think it's the answer.
Nikola, if there's one thing you could change just by snapping your fingers about this team right now to improve it, what would it be?
I wish we are all shooting 100% from the field.
Taking the time element out of it, you always mention how nice it would be around the other All-Stars. How are those conversations, how's it being around the guys you played with and the guys that you obviously competed with?
It's good. I enjoy it. I think that's the part that I probably enjoy the most. Talking to the young guys, talking to the vets, talking to a little bit of them, to see their routine, to see their thinking. I think that's the part that I enjoy the most.
How much wiser are you at 30 than you were at 20?
I don't know. I don't want to even think about it, so I don't know.
And then the Netflix documentary just came out. Did you mind having all those cameras around your team and teammates during the Olympics?
Sometimes I saw them, sometimes I didn't, so it was good.
And then I guess, is there a Peppa Pig tie into one of your new shoes?
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
I don't know. It just happened, that they made it and I like it, and I think that they're going to be cool, so I like them.
Well, how do you approach having a healthy roster, because you guys haven't had that really often?
Yes, it's definitely going to be a lot of nervous guys, maybe not playing the level they want to play, but like I said, if this is the time to change your mindset or to start playing, this is the time. You're going to have time to playing bad and still struggle, and then you're going to hopefully we're going to click in the best moment.
Do you think that it'll take time to find that flow and that chemistry?
I hope not, but I'm not going to be surprised if there's the time.
How much better do you feel about this team now than at the beginning of the season?
I trusted him in the beginning of the season. I knew that it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to struggle. And I think that's a good thing because now we know that we are getting better. We get better, So, and we can still improve. So I knew it's going to be a little bit bumpy, but we found a way.
How patient were you able to be with that bumpy process?
I think I'm a patient person in basketball. Maybe not in life, but in basketball, I'm pretty patient.
No.
No. Brennan gave me a tea. our security guy gave me a tea, like something like tea collection, whatever his name. I don't even. Yeah, like.
Big tea drinker.
I like to drink tea. Yeah.
When you were 13, do you think is this what 30 looked like to you?
I don't know. I really don't want to think about it because it makes me feel sad. I'm getting older. I'm not young anymore.
So we all are.
You definitely are. You guys are dinosaurs.
Just one more for you. You looked unimpressed with Victor reading a book before the game.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
You're old.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a. I agree.
No. It was just a funny joke because I mean, to be honest, I was reading a book like probably 2-3 years in a row, and it was just All-Star game. I think that was the reason. You're just messing around.
I'm 67. Are you prepared to get old? I mean, I can tell you, brother, it's not easy.
What's the question? Sorry, my friend.
Yeah. Are you prepared to be old and washed up like I am?
I hope not. I hope I'm going to be young in my mind and brain.
Okay.
Does this mean you're going to play for a long time?
Yes.
But do young kids maybe play into that? Because there are plenty of athletes that wanted their kids to watch them play, like, and remember that won't factor in?
That's not going to be a factor for me. I'm a selfish. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Your experience at All-Star Weekend and being part of the Rising Star?
Oh, I mean, I had a great time. It was just a blessing to be there and be a part of All-Star Weekend. I mean, it's just such a prestigious basketball event, and it's something that all of us want to be a part of. So to have that moment, see my name on a locker, it was fun.
You've got a big spotlight on you this year in Denver, a lot of pressure. Was it nice to just kind of go get celebrated for a bit?
Yeah, it was good. It was just to see my family, just go spend some time with some loved ones, get away from the game for a little bit, even if it was a couple of days. But yeah, I'm ready to lock back in and get back to it.
How much interaction did you have? Sorry, how much interaction did you have with Nikola when you were out there?
I didn't see Nikola once, man. I didn't see Yoke once, but I figured that would be the case, and I know he loved All-Star Weekend so much. I know he loved being there, so I'm just glad he had a great time.
He turns 30 today. How's he aged? Time you've seen him?
I mean, yeah, obviously I haven't known Nikola that long, but he the same. In the past year, there hasn't been much change. I feel like you get the same Nikola every day, whether it's snowing and it's -5 or it's 100 and sunny outside, you're gonna get the same Nikola.
What does that do for a team when you've got a guy like that who's just so steady?
Oh, I mean, it means the world to us. I mean, he's our heartbeat and he's our leader. Obviously, it's not always being a vocal leader, but leading by example and the things that he does and how hard he works. So, yeah, I mean, having him on our side, I mean, it makes us feel a lot better.
Did you get him a gift?
Nah, I didn't get Nikola a gift. I think he got enough stuff,
Do you know who Peppa Pig is?
Yeah, that's the little kid show.
Yeah. Do you know that he has Peppa Pig shoes? Have you seen his shoes?
Are those what the pink ones were? Those were fire. I actually told him that I like those ones out of all this colorway so far. I like to see Yoke experiment with the shoes and wear different colors.
Hey, Julian, Nikola's done the improbable this year. He's even gotten better than from where he was prior to that. What have you seen him get better at, and what do you think his ceiling is?
At this point, I don't know if there is a ceiling for a guy like that. To be able to do the things that he's doing every single night, I mean, the fact that I can look up and see a triple-double on the Jumbotron and not react no more is pretty amazing. And I mean, I'm just thankful to be able to share the floor with him and, I mean, get to see his greatness every single day. So, yeah, I'm super appreciative of Nikola.
Going back to the All-Star Weekend, was there something that surprised you or an interaction with somebody that you were happy to have, even if you didn't catch up with Nikola at any point?
I feel like the main thing for me that was the best part was just being able to be around some guys that you don't get to hang out and spend some time with during the year. So a lot of the younger Nike guys that I signed when I signed to Nike, our class, so like the Thompson twins and then Bilal Coulibaly, like those guys I never get to catch up with. So being able to spend some time with them, that was fun.
How do you want to see this team grow down its last 27 years?
I feel like for us, it's just putting the finishing touches on what we've just been working on the entire year, just so we can get ready for the playoffs and this championship run that we're going to go on. So for us, it's obviously just cleaning up turnovers, continuing to grow on the defensive end, and then just keep on buying into Denver Nuggets basketball, which I feel like going into the break we did a really good job of.
Coach said because of injuries, you have to play guys further down the bench. That only helps their confidence. But can you sense his confidence in younger players and guys that don't play as much growing?
Oh, 1,000%. Obviously, we're going to make mistakes and things like that. I mean, we're young guys, and some of us, it's our first time playing against certain teams or playing in certain arenas. Like, for example, it was my first time playing in Madison Square Garden this year, ever seeing it in person. So, that was cool. And I mean, we're young and we're inexperienced. So to see that he has that much belief in us to just let us rock and play us down the stretch, it's been good.
For you personally, can you get any added confidence from being involved in the Rising Stars Challenge and just spending at least a day or two around the best young players in the game?
Oh, for sure. Just to be recognized as one of those guys and even be in a conversation is good for the confidence. But at the end of the day, I think all my confidence comes from what I'm doing in here and how I'm preparing for the game. So if I can put myself in the best position, I'll be good.
You guys went on a pretty big run last year at this time. You won like 15, 17 games. What can you take from that, whether it was playing it and observing it, and you can apply to this year?
I feel like everyone just locks in a little bit more, after the break. Everyone's kind of just getting ready for that playoff run and that playoff push. So every possession matters a little bit more, taking care of the ball, not being loose with it, and then just, being game plan discipline and understanding the scout. So I feel like everybody just kind of locks in and takes that next step. And like I said, we're getting ready for the championship run so we can hang another one.
Are you guys checking the standings more, kind of keeping an eye on that stuff, or is it really just game to game kind of like that?
It's definitely game to game, especially in the West. You win 2, you drop, you go up 2 spots, you drop 2, you'll drop 3 spots. So, just never knowing, what's going on in the West, and you just making sure that you're on top of that and understanding your season series, in terms of home court advantages for playoff series and things like that.
Is there a way to balance that locked in effort with the idea of needing to get to the playoffs as fresh and ready to go as possible?
Yeah, there's definitely a balance, and I feel like locking in during the stretch, like he said, just making sure that we can have that kind of leeway going into the end of March, early April, that maybe we can get these guys some rest, a couple of games, and just make sure everybody fresh. So yeah, that's why this stretch coming up is super important for us.
Is it challenging to kind of be like the microwave scorer guy off the bench? To, if your role is to come in and get it going off the rip, is that more challenging maybe than it sounds?
Yeah, but at the same time, the fruits that you think of it, I mean, I get to come off the bench and kind of shoot some crazy shots, but at the same time, being that guy, especially being a young guy and having Nikola on the team, it's hard just to find that balance just because, you could just get the ball to Nikola every time, and, if you take a questionable shot and you don't make it, well, it's kind of a bigger deal because you could have just get the ball to Nikola. So it's definitely a little tough sometimes, and the nights where it's not going in, it's definitely tough, but I wouldn't want no other job. I mean, this is what I want, and this is the job that I asked for, and my goal was to eat, so I can't be mad at my plate's full.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Appreciate it.
Coach, is it your experience that when you get to this point of the season, 27 games left, this is the team that you have, or is there a chance for growth still for this basketball team?
Well, it's definitely a team that we have in terms of, these are the guys on our roster. But I would hope in 27 games we can still find ways to improve. If we're done growing now, that doesn't bode well for the final 27 and hopefully a deep playoff run. So we played well going into the break, won 8 games in a row, but there are a lot of things that we can improve upon. And as I told our players today, you have 14 home games, 13 road, and I think only 5 of the 27 games that we play are currently not in the playoffs or play-in conversation. So very tough schedule, and hopefully we can attack this last 27 and get off to a great start, starting with Charlotte tomorrow night.
Housekeeping on the injury stuff, Russ and Mike, were they able to participate today?
Yep, everybody was, and the best part about today's practice was Blocko was able to practice, Deron Holmes was able to go through parts of practice, so really excited for him. You get hurt in your first game at Summer League, and you have surgery, and you're rehabbing, you're recovering, that's a lot to ask of a young player mentally. And for him to get out here and go through parts of practice, the guys were excited for him. He was excited. And so, yeah, we had everybody except Peyton Watson go through most of practice.
Is it realistic that he could potentially be on the court at some point during the year into the playoffs?
I don't think so, but I'm not a doctor. But I think it would be probably a long shot. I think our training staff, medical staff would be a lot more comfortable with, let's use the off season and ramp up and get him right for next year.
Is Nikola better at 30 than he was at age 25, and if so, how so?
I mean, if you looked at it from a numbers standpoint, the numbers would say yes. I mean, he's having a guy who's been a 3-time MVP, a finals MVP, and a world champion. He is playing the best basketball of his life. His points per game, his rebounds, his assists, the three-point shooting, the volume, steals, like there's so many things you can point to. So from an individual standpoint, yeah, I would say that as Nikola turns 30 today, this is the best he's ever played. And that's what you want to see. You know, you want to see guys continue to find ways to challenge themselves, to push the envelope and become better and not be satisfied. And thankfully Nikola's been finding ways to do that for us.
Pure speculation, but there's not very many advantages of being as old as I am. But in '84, I saw the Nuggets play.
You're 84?
No, I look 84. I'm only 67.
I'm kidding.
But in 1984, I saw the Nuggets play the Lakers in Western Conference. I believe Kareem was 37 at that time. And he was the best player on the floor. So speculation, how long can Joker be this good?
Well, I think the really important thing when you consider that question is this. How does Nikola dominate the game? The way he dominates the game is with intelligence and skill, not athleticism. So the reason I think he could be a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 37 still dominating is because your mind and your skill level are not going to deteriorate. You know, he's not driving down the lane and dunking on people every night. So I think that bodes well for his longevity. I think he'll be able to play at a high level for a really long time, as long as he wants to continue to play this game because of the unique skill level and IQ that he possesses.
You've asked a lot from this team defensively all season. Are you starting to get a rate of return on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the, it's come in waves, and not enough waves, and we need bigger waves, more consistent waves. But you look at our best stretches of the season, it directly coincides with really good defensive stretches. We had a stretch where we go 12-3, beat some really good teams. Our defense was 6th during that stretch. We go 8-0 going into the break, and our defense is much improved during that. So, and then you look at our clutch defense. That's one thing where I think our players know when push comes to shove, we got to really lock in defensively. We know we can get a big stop or 2 stops. And my job is to find ways to make that happen more consistently. As I alluded to earlier, our schedule and the quality of schedule and opponents that we're going to be playing is going to be a handful. And we're going to have to be, we know we're really elite offensively, but our defense has to rise to the occasion for us to finish up these final 27 on a high note.
The lineup change that you made in January, you obviously only had a game basically before you had to go back to pushing the lineup. With the way he's playing, do you revert back to the original? Do you still want to kind of give that look with Russ some runway with him coming back? How do you kind of approach that at this point?
You really don't think I'm going to answer that question right now, do you? All I'll say is that it's great to have options. We have a healthy team, and obviously Russell Westbrook's done great things for us. Christian Brown, this last 8-game stretch, is playing just incredible basketball. And so people say, oh, that's a tough decision. I look at it the opposite way. I'm really fortunate to have a tough decision to make where you have quality players that have really impacted winning. And that's what it comes down to. It's never about one player. It's about what's best for our team. And as we approach tomorrow night's game in this final stretch, we'll do what we think is best in that moment. And it could change. I mean, like we've seen it change throughout the season. But we'll make that decision tomorrow night and kind of give that a chance to continue to grow.
Coach, any plans to celebrate Nikola's 30th today?
Yeah, I think there's some cupcakes down there, and don't know. I think that's about it. I think he's just happy to be home after a really exciting All-Star break. But I told him it's crazy that when he came here, he's 20 years old, and I've seen him go from 20 to 30, and feel really fortunate to be able to be a part of such a good person, such a good player, who's about all the right things. So obviously we all sang happy birthday to him, and I'm sure he'll go home and celebrate with his family.
What's the biggest change from 20 to 30?
He's married, he's got 2 kids, he's grown up, he's matured. As a player, we talked about how he's playing the best basketball of his young career, but at his heart, he's still the same person. And that's one of the things I love about the guy, is that he's still Nikola Jokic from Sombor, Serbia. He's never forgotten where he's come from or who's helped him get here.
How important is Nikola's ceiling, and what does he have to do to get there if he's not there yet?
His ceiling, geez, I don't know. He keeps on pushing the envelope. Just when you think he's reached his ceiling, a 3-time MVP, one of maybe 10 or 11 players to ever accomplish that feat. He finds ways to continue to challenge the system, challenge the game. So I never put a ceiling on him. I think when you're dealing with greatness, you never want to put a ceiling on that. You want to allow him and give him room to grow and watch that, because it's really fun to be a part of that process.
What's the most important thing Julian can accomplish over these final 27?
Just continue to find ways to come into the game, impact the game with his efficiency offensively and his discipline, and just fight overall on the defensive end of the floor. He's been a guy that we've relied upon. Last year, before he got hurt, he was a guy that we really, kind of targeted, try to, run plays for us, see what he can do for us, provide a scoring spark off that bench. And same thing this year, and I think he's had some really good stretches. So for a young player, you're always battling consistency. Can he be a consistent contributor night in and night out? And can he be a guy that, hey, listen, you're not going to target me every night defensively. I can hold my own. I'm going to fight. You might score on me, but you're going to have to work really hard to do so. And if he can provide that, Vinny, he'll be a really solid contributor for us.
This was a pretty active trade deadline. You're going to see a bunch of those teams. Golden State with Jimmy, the Lakers with Luka. You played them 3 times. Do you, as a head coach, enjoy the challenge of having these almost new teams, or do you kind of sit there and go, man, I wish I had more film of these new teams and with their new players?
No, because we know who Jimmy Butler is. Jimmy Butler's not changing because he's wearing a different uniform. Luka's not changing because he's wearing a different uniform. You know who they are at their core as individual players. Now they might be used a little bit differently in a system and all that, but I get up for judging and challenge yourself against some of the best teams in the league. And as I mentioned earlier, we have some really tough games in these final 27, and that's going to be a real test to kind of see where we're at. And I think our guys are excited for that challenge because we took care of business. We had an 8-game stretch. We played against some teams that were banged up, missing some guys, but we took advantage of it, which what you have to do as a good team. And now we have to find a way to beat some of the better teams in the NBA. We're around a 500 team against teams over 500. And we have to be better than that as we move towards the final stretch.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks everybody.
Great tan, by the way.
It's the Irish tan.
I can relate.